Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to your messages for the week. Today is Sunday, the 16th of October, 2022, and my name is Deborah James Sutton. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Lovely to have you here. You can find out more about me and the things that I do from my website at deborahjamesarmsworth.com, or browse this YouTube channel because there's lots of lessons in awakening, self-healing techniques, interviews about healing, energy healing, and all sorts of things like that. And if you're not new to my channel, welcome back. Lovely to have you join us. Oh, that one came out when I said that. Any other messages for this week? So halfway through October, how's it feeling? If you haven't already seen the messages for the month of October, check out the link in the description and the video in the end screen, because they were like super clear messages that came through about not caring what other people think, which I think is a massive spiritual lesson in itself, is it not? This is clearly 3. Shuffling away there, and clearly it's only 3. It's only 3. Stop shuffling. Okay, let's dive straight in there, face down. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. He is reflecting. This is the 7 of Pentacles. He is reflecting on everything that he's achieved. Now, abundance is typically materialistic stuff because it's earth, it's physical. And it can be related to career and finance and business and things like that. Now, anyone that watches me and my interpretations for any length of time knows that I interpret it very differently. If your business is making a shed load of money, then you are considered to be a success. It is considered to be a success, right? Regardless of whether you're happy, healthy, or in love. So I tend to avoid the word business, and I tend to see that when we follow our hearts, we start playing, you know, like the child within, like the divine being that we are. And that play brings us the abundance that we need. And that abundance includes financial security. It's just that the financial security is not the objective. It's important. I'm not dissing it. I love money, galore, galore. I have everything I need and more. Yes, most people have some money issues. Oh, that's interesting. I do have a video about that. 3 things you need to know about money from an energy perspective. I will put a link in the description and the video in the end screen about that one, so I don't have to keep going on about it now. But my point being that the Pentacles to me is abundance of all forms, because when you're in, let's say, have an abundance of joy, it raises your frequency and puts you on a more abundant timeline. When you have an abundance of health, that's also going to raise your frequency. When you have an abundance of love, when you fall in love, that feeling that you have raises your frequency and opens you up to more abundant timelines. So it's not all about money. But when you have a whole load of money as well, of course, it can, depending on how you're thinking and how you're believing and all your moral compass and things like that, can also open up to more as well. So yes, we do want to welcome an abundance of financial security as well. The more we have, the more we can help people, right? But basically, this is about everything that's made you, you. That's what I want to say. He is reflecting on everything that has made you, you. And well, he's not, he's reflecting on everything that's made him, him. But the message with the card is time for reflection. Who are you? Who do you want to be? And I'm finding this in my own life, that there's things that we think we ought to do, things that we think, you know, oh, this is who I am. This is what I need to do. This is how I need to do things. We can change. We can grow. Everything served us at the place where we needed it. But we're all growing. We're all evolving. And things are changing big time, aren't they? So we need to not be afraid of moving away from the things that we thought made us. Okay, because it's basically moving away from some part of the ego, isn't it? It's moving away from your expectations. We're back to that as well. moving away from expectations, moving away from the things that we think we should do, the labels that we've put on ourselves. You know, I'm a healer, I have to do it this way. Well, no, you could evolve into a mystic or something else. Or I am a teacher, I have to do it this way. You know, you can change within your genre maybe, but it doesn't have to be like that. You can change your genre if you're feeling compelled to, if you're feeling inspired to, if the universe is nudging you into a new genre. I mean, really, that's basically, he's reflecting on everything he's done so that he can tap into what parts of his life is he most happy with, what parts of his life bring him the most joy. That's what it's got to boil down to. And these things are going to change over time. They're definitely going to change over time. You know, there are things that I used to do that really used to bring me joy, and less so now because there are other things that bring me joy. So of course they're going to change over time because you've changed over time. You've raised your level of consciousness, and now you're living a whole new experience. And we're bringing heaven to earth. And the thing is, though, we have no experience of heaven on earth. So we keep thinking, oh, heaven on earth is going to be all the things I love. What you don't realize is that when you raise your frequency, the things you love is going to change. So heaven on earth is still kind of like an enigma for most of us because we're still evolving into it. So all we can do at any stage of our evolution is to keep following what brings us joy. Because even if it isn't the thing that we're going to end up doing, it is the thing that's going to create a stepping stone. The joys and the excitement are stepping stones. So we still need to follow the joy, follow the excitement, but just don't get upset when the stepping stone takes you to a bigger stepping stone and what got you onto the first stepping stone is no longer there and no longer part of your life. That's okay. That's okay because you're on a bigger stepping stone now. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense because I think there's things that we've always loved doing them and we think we're going to always love doing them. And it's okay to stop loving doing something. I think that's what I want to say with this card. He is reflecting on everything he's done. So there's also an energy of tapping into all the experiences that you've had because you created your reality, okay? And you did it for your benefit. So look back at your life and see, wow, what did I learn from this? What did I learn from that? How can I grow from this? How can I grow from that? And look back and see, like every thought you've had, every book that you've read, every video that you've watched, every inspiration that you've had, every person that you've met, every experience that you've had, you know, that's what he's reflecting on. And when you do that, you realize how much you've got. Look how big his stockpile is. And that's full of pentacles. So that's full of financial security. So if you're thinking that you haven't got much financial security, just have a little reflection on how much you actually do have. A lot of people are downsizing. That really helps. You actually end up spending less and therefore you're making more. That's kind of like a good way to look at it. But this is, as I said, it's also, he's looking at what has brought him joy, what has expanded his level of consciousness. He's looking at his health, how his health has evolved as well. You know, all of these things. So it's a time for reflection. Basically, more pentacles. We've got the Six of Pentacles now. And this is about where you spend that energy, where you spend your time, money, resources, and energy. Okay? Because it's really important that we understand that whatever we invest in, and I do mean financially as well, what we choose to spend our money on is an extension of who we are. It really is. Because money is an energy, all right? We love money and we lots of energy, lots of money, right? But it's an extension of who we are. So if you're spending money on something, let's say you're paying a bill and you hate doing it and you resent it, that's a large part of you that's being spent in the wrong direction. So it's really important if you're paying a bill or something like that. Now, I know it's not easy to do, but I think it's really important, energetically speaking, to have gratitude. And gratitude that you have the money, obviously, but gratitude for whatever service it is that you're paying for. But also, dear, I don't want to get political, but be careful because whatever you're spending your money on, you're energizing it. I'm not suggesting that you don't pay your bills, right? Disclaimer, disclaimer. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Take responsibility. Take your sovereignty and your power back. Okay, that's my disclaimer. But it is true that whatever you're spending your money on, and your time and your energy and your resources, because it's all energy, okay? It is energizing whatever it is. So I often find, like, I remember when I first lived in the village, there was only two market stalls on a Saturday morning. It was hardly like a stroll down the market, you know, it was hardly a morning out. There was just two stalls. But I used to go whenever I could, and I always used to buy what, you know, something that I could, because I wanted to energize the market. I wanted people to come. I wanted it to grow. I wanted, you know, it to become, you know, more of a thing. But lots of things like that. It's like investing in charities, donating to charities, things that you want to grow. I mean, I just love, you know, helping time, money, resources, energy, okay, into things. If I see something I like and I think that's great, that's divine, that's something we want in heaven on earth, you look at something and you think, yes, I want that in heaven on earth. Okay, so then I'm going to buy from them, or I'm going to give them my time, I'm going to give them my energy, I'm going to give them my love. You see how it works? So it's really important to understand that how we spend our money is a reflection of who we are. And all this shoulding is our programming, of course, from our parents and society, I guess, but mainly about how you should spend your money. Other people always seem to have an opinion on how you should spend your money. But the truth is, you've got to spend it from your heart. If you feel like purchasing something or investing in something, and it's going to raise your frequency, and you're going to feel contracted if you don't do it. Like my yoga teacher training course is always my good example for this. You know, you need to invest in it then, don't you? Because you know it's going to raise your frequency. It's the same with your time. But no two people are the same. So we all have different priorities when it comes to spending our time and our money and our energy, right? And that's where a lot of arguments come from. Oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. At the end of the day, you do what you want to do. But just remember that where you put your time, your money, and your energy, you are energizing it. You are giving it energy. You are creating it. You are bringing it into reality. You're bringing it into your reality. Does that make sense? So it's really important that you use discernment. This is what I'm getting at. There's the balance, okay? And he's giving money to this one, and he hasn't given money to this one. He's using discernment. It's like, you know, investing in what he wants to invest in. And he is giving to the poor, basically. But he's keeping it balanced. Because if you give too much and then you start resenting, right? How many times have you paid for something and resented it? That resentment is going to do you more harm than anything else. So, wow, that's an interesting one. Let's have a look at the third one. Queen of Pentacles. It's definitely a financial theme this week. Yes, I do say that Pentacles is everything. It's not just money. But when three Pentacles come up together, we can't ignore that there's a financial issue going on. And if you look globally in the world, you will see that there is financial issues. There are financial issues going on. There's lots of things going on financially. So she's the Queen of Pentacles. There's her abundance. She's focused on her pentacle. Okay, she's focused. She's a businesswoman. She's a very shrewd businesswoman. She lives in financial abundance, but she's focused on how she spends that. It's precious to her. It's precious to her. It's her energy. She understands that that pentacle is representing her energy and her soul. Where does she want to place it? Where does she want to spend her time? Where does she want to spend her energy? And where does she want to spend her money? Because it's creating your reality. We talk a lot, and they came up in the October cards and last week's cards, thoughts. Thoughts are creating your reality. Brilliant. Go back and have a look at those. Thoughts are a massive creator force for us. But this week, it's obviously focusing on how you spend your time, your money, and your energy. If you are spending it on elevating your frequency and expanding your level of consciousness, then that's going to serve you, because your level of consciousness is your new currency. In heaven on earth, it's your level of consciousness that's going to protect you. Your level of consciousness is your salvation as well. Your level of consciousness is everything, because your future lies in your frequency and not in your bank account. Disclaimer though, I'm not suggesting anyone be irresponsible, of course not, but there is a line in between. It's something to think about this week. That's what we're being asked to think about this week. What are you spending your money, your time, and your resources on? Do you need to be spending that money, time, and resources on whatever it is? If it's not something that's in alignment with what you want to create, then find ways to not energize it. Find new ways of doing things. I mean, a good example might be solar panels. I want to say we have solar panels at the garden retreat, and they are very expensive to install. I'm not saying they're not, and it's not about so much about the money. It's about not wanting to energize any corruption or any manipulation or any form of control, not wanting to energize that. So using finances wisely to release that that resentment that comes from energizing. You know, when you get an energy bill, it's a big topic at the moment, energy bills. I don't know how feasible it is for people to all go solar, but that's just one example. There's loads of other things that are important as well, because a lot of people find that they're spending time and money and energy on things that they kind of resent. That's the thing. If you're doing anything, even if it's like having to look really smart to go to work. I always queried this one. Luckily here in Spain, we were allowed to teach in jeans, which I just thought was far more practical when you're in a primary school. But when I was in England, everyone expected you to look so smart, yet you're meant to be climbing on chairs and sitting on the floor and doing all sorts of things. And then you find yourself spending a load of money on clothes for work. And then you think, that's money that I don't really want to be spending, you know, on things that I resent having to do. That's just another example. I've just got examples coming to my head, but you'll know when you hear these words, what's right and what's wrong for you. If your heart is expanded and excited, that's where to invest your time, money, and resources. And if it's resentful or what have you, then can you find other ways around? That's what the cards are saying this week. Interesting one. Love to hear your comments about that one. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of love to you all. Bye for now.